Hi guys, welcome back aboard of the Crypto Cruise. It's me Chris, and today we're going to talk about Polkadot, what Polkadot is all about, also known as DOT, what makes it unique. We're going to talk some chart analysis, potential price target. Not only that, we're also going to talk about Ethereum, where it's heading in the immediate short term. And today's show, as we always do, we're going to start with the Bitcoin chart. And I've told you guys, once we reach these prices for Bitcoin at around 108, 107,000, this local bottom that we formed on 31st of August. I've told you I don't think we're gonna go lower than this local low here, below 107,000. So I want to show you the picture, but if you've been following my channel, you'll be quite successful so far. Right now we are forming a double formation, or actually basically a high-low formation, which is a bullish structure for continuation of the trend on the upside. What I'm actually anticipating by the end of this week for Bitcoin to actually start testing these prices of around 117, 118,000, potentially take out this local top that we formed on 18th of September. And as I've said, continuation of the trend on the upside. Corrections like these that we formed between the period 13th of August all the way to end of August, beginning of September, this bearish channel pattern that we actually broke above. Corrections like these, they don't last long, and they're actually for buying, because as I've said, they don't last long. The bottom of the bear market happened in November of 2022 at price of around 15,000. At the time of recording this video, one Bitcoin is around 113,000. So 7x, what do you want me to say? It's definite raging bull cycle, and corrections like these, they actually for buying. We have more continuation of the trend. When it comes to Ethereum, I see nothing but bullish momentum as well. We on the yearly chart, we have this huge reverse head and shoulders, The left shoulder from between May 2021 and November of 2021. The bottom formed in June of 2022, price of around 880 for ETH. The head of the bottom formation here. And the right shoulder, which is this huge ascending triangle pattern that we've been forming from March of 2024, almost a year and a half ago. We broke above it last month, and right now we're just testing this previous resistance, acted multiple times in the past as resistance, starting from 8th of November 2021, its previous all-time high, 4,868. We tested it again in March of 2024. It acted as resistance again in May of 2024. It even acted as resistance at the end of last year in December of 2024, while Bitcoin started hitting all-time high prices. Prices even above 100,000. Ethereum, a lot of people start thinking and believing that Ethereum is going to start hitting all-time highs. We actually capitulated. From price of around 4,000, we actually dropped below 1,200, and I actually anticipated that. Then Trump introduced the tariffs, a V-shaped recovery, bounce back. When fear and greed index, guys, when everyone is fearful, you should be greedy, and vice versa. While everyone is greedy, you should be fearful, As I've said, we broke above this resistance line last month, and now we hit all-time high for ETH at price of around 5,000. Right now, we're just turning this previous resistance into support for continuation of the trend on the upside. And if we measure this huge ascending triangle pattern, which is a bullish structure, measure from the bottom to the top, the price target should be above 6,600. And this is something that I'm actually anticipating for Ethereum to go. Is it going to be November, December of this year? Potentially February, March of next year? I don't know. I don't have a magic ball. I can't predict the future. But this is something in the charts. Bitcoin is heading higher because we're in a raging bull market. ETH is heading way higher because usually Ethereum outperforms Bitcoin once the true speculation of the altcoin season happening. I think we're just in the cusp of doing that. Now, anything I say in this video, it is not a financial advice. It's for pure entertainment purposes. And before you do anything, do due diligence and make your own research, because as I said, this is definitely not a financial advice. There's a lot of bearish momentum when it comes to Polkadot. Not absolutely everyone written off a Polkadot to gain any momentum, and in my personal opinion, that's exactly when you should buy. For me to remain bullish, basically, I'd like for Polkadot to basically go to this resistance line that we've tested multiple times in the past. March of 2024, a price of around $12, and we tested it at the end of last year in December of 2024, a price of around $12. So if Polkadot goes to this resistance line, potentially above the $12 mark, potentially to $13, come back, turn this previous resistance, turn into support, I can quickly see from $13, $14 Polkadot quickly jump into its previous all-time high, potentially to even $50. Why? Because if you just look at what happened in the previous bull cycle, the bull cycle of 2020-2021, if we just measure here between the period end of December of 2020 all the way to beginning of February, mid-February of 2021, pretty much month and a half, we went for Polkadot a price of around $4 all the way to 45, and then we jumped to even 50. Potentially something like that can happen again. Polkadot can easily go to zero, so always do diligence and make your own research, because nothing in the markets are guaranteed. But we have to look at the statistics. We have to look what is going on in the other bull cycle with the traditional markets, with the Dow Jones Industrial, with the S&P 500, and to name a few. Of course, the Bitcoin is in a raging bull market. Ethereum is at its almost all-time high, and sooner or later the altcoin season will happen. The Bitcoin dominance will collapse, and some of these altcoins, especially the layer ones, will tend to outperform Bitcoin and Ethereum, not in the long term, but in the short term, the next 3 to 4 months. That's how it usually happens. Let's see how this thing is gonna play out. Again, Polkadot can easily go to zero, so it's interesting for me to see as well. But if we do something like that, as I've said, Polkadot goes above this $12, $13 level, potentially turn this previous resistance into support, go quickly to its previous all-time high, potentially consolidate for a few months, or correct, we can form a huge reverse head and shoulders. And if we break above this all-time high price of around that we formed in November of 2021, price of around $55, is it possible for Polkadot go absolutely nuts and have a full price discovery, and Polkadot potentially double in price and go to prices of around $120? This can happen. I mean, we just have to look at this, what happened previously. Not only the 2020-21 bull cycle, but the 2017, the 2013. Some of these altcoins went 200, 300x. I'm not saying Polkadot can do that, but from $4 potentially to 120, I mean, again, this is quite huge, but 30x is not something unbelievable. This is it happened previously, so potentially can happen again. Once again, not a financial advice. Once again, guys, thank you all for tuning in. I really appreciate all support. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube, please do it. It's absolutely free. And if you really want to support my work, you can subscribe to my Patreon. With that subscription comes a lot of exclusive content with the most undervalued, underappreciated coins out there. Some of them 50-100x potential. Not only that, one-on-one consultation of how to navigate through that really difficult bull cycle. And of course, my 2 books of how to become a sophisticated trader, how to set up a trade, a long, short position, and much more. Once again, thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see each other tomorrow. Goodbye.